Welcome everybody to another webinar. Afternoon to everybody. Who've we got? We've got Marcus, Sarah, said hello. We've only got a few people in the webinar because it's an afternoon, so there's only 4 at the moment. Just give me a yes, people, if you can hear me okay, and you should now be able to see the screen. We shouldn't have any issues like we did on the last webinar. I did fix them as promised. Yep, excellent. Okay, so I'm just going to get my screens back up and just make sure that I'm connected properly to Ninja. Yep. Okay, I don't have too much on the radar, to be honest with you, but I do want to run over a few things. We are still in some trades, and I do want to run over these trades, and I want to spend a few minutes talking about psychology. So I'm currently in 1, 2, 3, I thought I was in 4 trades. 1 second, guys. Pound yen, pound dollar, euro pound we bought up. Was there not one other trade? Sorry guys, 1 second. Just see which trade it is. Yeah, we're short a flag, Sarah's flag, aren't we? Is it the Euro Swissy? CAD Swiss. Okay, CAD Swiss. Let me bring that over. CAD Swiss. Okay, while that's loading, yeah, I want to spend just a few minutes talking about psychology. And first of all, I'm going to bring over the pound yen. Now, we've only got a few people watching this, but this may be relative to some people that will watch it later. And we've obviously had Boris Johnson has now been elected the new Prime Minister in the UK, and that resulted in some obscure spikes. And for the pound yen, those of us that are still in it, this is the type of thing that will really play on your psychology in the pound dollar as well. Yeah, thanks Sarah, CAD Swiss. I've got it open now on the other chart, and we'll go through that shortly. So we're in 4 trades. From a psychological point of view, it was quite taxing, if I'm honest. I certainly felt the pressure of being in those trades, and from the pound yen being 30 pips up to going 15 pips in the red, and now it looks as though we could be turning around, and it would be lovely to put in a lovely 3-bar reversal here. Just give me a yes, by the way, if you're still in the pound yen trade. I know a few people were stopped out. I'm just going to zoom out. And the pound yen was the double top that we entered up here. Sorry, we had the double top. Then we entered based on the 2618, which pulled up to here. And then really we've been in consolidation because we failed to make a new low. We went into arrears, came back into profit, went into arrears, went back into profit. Looked like we were going to violate the lows, didn't. Pushed all the way back up to here. Just bring back on the orders, pushed all the way back up to this point. Look at where we actually went to though, that 13500 psychological number. And I was sat here, and if anybody else was in the trade and also sat by the charts, they'll have the same emotions that I had. This thing is probably going to go on to lose. However, the difference is that I did not sabotage the trade, and I knew that even though that we had Brexit, and it does sometimes cause those obscure spikes and cause the market to move in a way which is unusual, that we could actually see the market retrace. And the last thing I wanted to do was exit up here, bank 17 or 20 pips worth of losses, and then for the market to reverse. And I waited, and during the last 10 minutes or so of the hourly candle, we put in this beautiful pin bar, which just so happened to hold this area. And as mentioned, it came into that 13500, and it would be lovely now for us to get a 3-bar reversal and eventually break these lows. So painful trade here, guys, but if you held the trade if you're still in the trade, first of all, but if you held the trade, well done. We might just be rewarded with a winning trade, because look, we held structure, beautiful pin bar, psychological number, and a lower low, lower close here would be lovely. So psychology, number one reason, in my opinion, why most people fail, and just having the ability to hold the trade through completion, whether it hits your stop or your target. And of course we had good stop placements, and that psychological number for the second time saved us. It saved us up here, just where this double top was, and pretty much again it saved us here as well. So anybody that says don't pay attention to psychological numbers, they don't mean anything, well, here's the proof right here and right here. So we never know the outcome of the trade, but fingers crossed, legs as well, that we can see this thing rally on down to hit those targets. So let's just catch up a little bit with the chat. Yeah, 4 trades, Marcus, that we're in. Morning, Sarah. Is it early hours there for you? Yeah, Marcus still hanging in there. Bimbawabi stopped out. No, okay. The roller coaster may continue. We need to stick to the plan. Very well said, Ashraf. Hey everyone, I'm late, having a bad internet connection. We've only just started, Ashraf, and we're really starting off looking at the movement that we've seen on the pound and how it's affecting our psychology, and really how the pound yen, we're still in the trade due to good stop placement, due to the fact that we didn't sabotage the trade, and we could be rewarded with a nice 3-bar reversal. It came into that psychological number 13500. So that's what we're talking about. So that is the pound yen. I am just for the time being going to move it to the side and I'm going to bring over the pound dollar. Now I know the majority of people are still in this. So again, we've only got 5 people in here, guys. So just let me know if you're in this trade and it was up here, and I'm just going to fatten this up a little bit. I at one point down here was 110 pips up. I actually added to this position. I was 110 pips up, and then I got down to 48 just here. Now if you're human and you were by your charts and you wasn't busy working and you saw this, I'm sure you would have had the same feelings that I did. You would have felt well, a little stressed. You would have had those normal thoughts which occur, which is, oh no, don't go on and stop me out for break even. All those feelings, and we spoke about this the other day, those triggers that occur. The important thing to understand was that we had not reached our destination, and it was very likely, wasn't it, that that news event was going to make the market move one way or another. But ultimately, as we can see on the pound yen, we held structure. Here on the pound dollar, we actually came up to structure. And I'm going to show you this on the 60. So this is a lovely structure trade. Move lower, pull back. Then we had the move lower, the pull back, the move lower, the pull back, the move lower. Okay, so if this was in real time and the market was right up here and you was looking at this on the 60 and you was not involved with the trade, would you be thinking that this is a trend continuation trade? So to confirm, you're not in the trade, but you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the pullback here is an 8-point move, which is in trend. Would you be looking to short the market? Just give me a yes if you would. If this is a nice setup for a trend continuation trade. Got a few extra people now joining us, so just give me a yes if this is a nice trend continuation trade, and if you're not involved with it, you would be looking for maybe a lower low, lower close entry to get involved. Yep, Ashraf said he would. Okay, so Marcus as well says yes. So when we're already in the trade and we see the market coming up here, the last thing we want to do is exit the position just because it's going against us, because we would only exit the position because it's going against us. Yet on the other hand, if we wasn't in the trade, we would look at shorting the market. So you see, when you look at it that way, you wonder why we end up sabotaging, and it's just down to psychology, because we exit because the position's going against us. But in actual fact, if we weren't in the trade, we would short the market. So very important point, and the fact as well that we were in trend. Our stop was well above, this is the outside return here, was well above the outside return, and we just wanted to leave the trade. And we've now been rewarded with a inverted hammer. So we've got a long wick test candle, and we've closed in the lower 15%. And just like the pound yen, it would be nice to see a lovely 3-bar reversal here with a lower low, lower close. So well done to Cody, because I know he took targets in a slightly different position to us, but we came very close, I think 7 or 8 pips to target here, and we're just going to wait, and hopefully we will see that continuation down for that 113 pips, I think it is. 113 pips would be a nice win. It would put us in profit for the week. So that's the pound yen, guys. Does everybody agree with what I've said there in terms of those people that exited or may have exited the trade? I know I've done it in the past because it was going against me. When you flip it around and we're in trend and we would sell it, it doesn't make sense, does it? So we've done the right thing again. We've held on to the trade. Let's go and take a look at the CAD Swiss. This wasn't a pound pair, so it hasn't really moved, but it looks as though we're going to owe Sarah a drink for finding this trade. So on this trade, this was the flag pattern. We had the directional move lower. We had the market that adhered to the trend line. This was also valid on the 15, by the way. 1, 2, 3, 4. However, I did post this in the chat, and those of you that remembered that the rule is we must hit a minimum of a 382. So let me just remove these orders. Now what that actually meant was, if this was our structure level just here, and typically these turn within the wicks as per the educational material, then our fourth touch was just here. But at this fourth touch, we did 1, not come into the 38.2 fib, and 2, not come into the wicks. So we wait. We wait for the 5th, we wait for the next test, and the entry candle would have been this red candle. I actually got involved on a 15-minute lower low, lower close. But due to good stop placement, 10 pips behind that 7,500 psychological number, we have not only now broken out of the channel, we've also broken below the low here, though again we've not yet closed below it. But this trade is looking quite good, Sarah. So yeah, a very, very nice find indeed. I'm actually front running this trade by 3 pips, only because the CAD Swiss is it's not a normal pair, it's not one of the main currency pairs, and it typically has a higher spread, so I do want to make sure I get filled when we spike 2 or 3 pips past it. So that's why I've got my target 3 pips in front there. Who's in this? Just give me a yes if you are, guys. And I'll catch up with the chat just while you're typing in. Marcus, yep. Sarah, agree. Marcus, good point. Without a position, we would look to sell it. Yeah, exactly. I speak about that quite a lot, don't I? If we miss our main entry, then there's no reason why we can't wait and get involved with the journey down to its destination if we enter trend. And that's exactly what the pound dollar has done. But luckily we got in right at the top, and it's yeah, it's I'm not going to say it. I don't want to say it's looking good. I don't want to tempt the gods. So that is the CAD Swiss. So let's move that out of the way. And the last one is the Euro Pound. Euro Pound was the head and shoulders. We had a limit order on this. I know I removed it I think last night and this morning as well, but after the news event I added I managed to get involved with the trade using a 2618, managed to get a better risk to reward just here. And if we drop down to the 15, we'll see if this thing's got any legs. We've had a bit of a rally here on the 15, but we're going to have to give it a little bit more time to see if we can rally up to those targets. Just having a closer look at this. It'd be lovely if this 60-minute candle ended up being a higher high, higher close as well. And for those of you that are not involved in the signal service, it's a head and shoulders. It's a double-headed head and shoulders. And we pull back for a 2618 trade. And we're looking at playing for a retest of these highs just here. So a lovely higher high, higher close there would be nice. So, yep, I was sat here watching the news, watching the pound yen run 30 pips into arrears, watching the pound dollar go from 110 pips up down to 48. The CAD Swiss was at break even at the time, and when I got involved with the euro pound, we were 12 to 15 pips down. And I was sat here thinking, damn. But we let the trades play out, and fingers crossed things will turn around for us. So I don't actually have any trades on the radars, guys. So if you do have anything, please let me know and I will go and take a look at that. If not, I will bring over a couple of charts and take a look at them. I know that we're waiting on the Aussie dollar complex pullback, aren't we, for a long opportunity. We're nowhere near that as yet. Sarah, glad I was sleeping during the news. Good job, you guys, for hanging strong. Yeah. Do you know what, Sarah? I love nothing more than well, getting off to sleep can be a pain, and but when you're in a big trade or a few big trades, when you're asleep and you wake up and the trade has won, there's no real emotion because you've slept through all the hard work, and it's ourselves that cause the emotion. You know, it's us that it's just us that cause the emotions, because when we sleep we don't have them, and we wake up and if the trade's won, fantastic. And I love that. I love waking up and the trade has won and it's just emotionless. Then we're either out for a loss or we're out for a win. So I think there was a message, let me have a look, from Todd. Let's have a look. Todd was looking at, just let me have a look, I think he's looking at the New Zealand dollar. Okay. A few chats back. We enter on a signal from the 15. Todd. Okay, I'm just having a look what Todd put in the chat. I think he was talking about head and shoulders on the New Zealand dollar. Okay. We need a break above neckline, a little more confirmation on the shoulders. Okay, let's take a look at the New Zealand dollar. I can't initially see a head and shoulders, but let's go and do the high time frame analysis here, should I say. The New Zealand dollar was one where we was in trend. This was also on the quick hit review video. So we had a 1 point move, 2 point move, 3 point move, putting us officially in trend. We can look for long opportunities within the first chance, second or third chance entry. Right now we're testing that first chance entry. So let's go and take a look at the 240. And this right here would stop me from taking any trend continuation at all, guys. We have a double top. Double top is a reversal pattern, and for me, I would not then be looking for any trend continuation to the upside. However, if we violate this level of structure, this double top, this very, very recent newly formed structure is going to act as very, very good support for our pullback and a chance to get long. So that's what I'm going to be waiting for on the New Zealand dollar. Now, I'm not too sure if Todd was looking at this for the head and shoulders. For me personally, I'm not going to be looking at shorting the market. This double top here, we've now come down into this structure level just here, and this structure level and this structure level. So for me, this double top has played out. I'm now no longer interested in shorts or longs. I want to see the market violate this level first of all. Let's drop down the time frames. I think though he was looking at the 15 for the head and shoulders, so we'll take a sneak at what he's looking at. Nothing here on the 60. Let's go down to the 15. Okay, I think he was looking at something like this. May actually be this. For me, this isn't going to be a head and shoulders. This is just consolidation, really. We don't have a decent swing in the market. We've got this kind of leg that goes down here. It's not directional enough. If we put a structure level on just here at the lows, we know that head and shoulders is a rotation pattern, so we want them to come into structure, ideally the wicks. There is a little bit of structure just here, very small amount. Look at the reaction we've got from it. We've got a decent reaction there, to be fair. Let's look left, and we do have another double test here. Yep, and another test there. Okay, so yep, I can see what he's looking at. Just the problem for me on the 15, this isn't setting up in a way that I can easily say is a head and shoulders. You could make the case for it up here, but that would make a very small pullback. So you could look at that. I do like things to be in proportion of size though, and we've got a very long rally here and a very minor pullback. But certainly, if you're in the room, or if you're not, you're going to watch the replay, I would look for a violation here. Yeah, we've got the structure level here. Look for the violation, the pullback, and then a chance to get long. Let's go and take a look at the 60. Yeah, it's not going to be for me because we're going really from the 240 to the 15. So you can see here the 240 is down within the wicks. But if we drop to the 60, we're no longer within the wicks because the wicks actually run now. You could, well, you've got a few areas here. It's very hard this because you do actually have a few levels of the wicks all over, and you could even at a pinch take that down there. So yeah, it's an opportunity. It's just not going to be one for me. But certainly wait for the break above the pullback. If you get a conservative entry, yeah, that could be an opportunity to ride that up. So yeah, on one hand, not a bad find, and another, I would just wait for a little bit more confirmation on that trade. Marcus says it was on the 15, yeah. So yeah, it was something like this that he was looking at. So that is the New Zealand dollar, guys. Any questions on that? Ooh, look at the pound yen, it's pulling all the way back. Is the pound dollar doing the same? This pound yen is causing us a lot of pain. Look at that, a beautiful wick to the upside, and we've got 5 minutes to go until the close of this candle. And whether or not we see a lower close, I do not know. Let's go and drop down to the 15 and just see what's going on. So the market got overextended up here. We saw the retracement. We failed to violate the lows again. This is a hard trade. Difficult trade to hold. Check out the 240. You see we had a lovely lower close candle on the last 4 hour. And what we've done here is we've tried to push higher on the 4 hour and have just failed. So this is just consolidation now. Nothing we can do but leave it. So let's get rid of that one. Any other currency pairs to look at, guys? I'll just bring over the pound CAD just while I give it a minute for you guys to post any trade ideas or charts you want me to look at. This is what we looked at the other day. The pound CAD still have the drawings on it. This is the good thing actually about having two lots of Ninja. I have Ninja, which is my main Ninja on my dedicated server, and this one that's on the computer. It still has the drawings on it. And we spoke about two potentials here. We had the cipher pattern that could kick in at any time. And those of you that was in this, Sarah, was you in this? Well, congratulations. It looked as though this was a 2-target winner for you if you went for 2 targets. Yep. But we was waiting for the market to come up for a potential double top up here or a head and shoulders. Even a flag as we've drawn out here, and unfortunately none of it came off. The only thing that won was the advanced pattern, the cipher pattern. So it was a nice trade that. Probably worth 40 pips to target ones. So delete, we will get rid of that, and let's bring over the pound New Zealand because we did have something on there the other day. We'll take it from the daily time frame. Pound New Zealand. Okay, yes, this was the one where we had the big cipher, and we were waiting for confirmation as to what the market was going to do, whether or not we can put in a head and shoulders, or we were looking at trend continuation, weren't we, guys? And I'm just going to delete this, and we said that we do have a trend continuation opportunity here because this is the entire outside return. You simply look for a lower low, lower close candle. There it was. And you can look at playing this all the way down to the very lows, down to this level just down here. And our concern was that we had this big AB equals CD pattern. We also had the psychological number 18400. And I think we had some fib confluence, and did we have another lower time frame ABCD pattern? It might be on another currency pair. And it was just a case of maybe we want to be a little bit cautious here about shorting the market due to the cipher pattern and all the other confluence. The AB equals CD pattern massively oversold. I think we were at 13 on the dailies. And so yeah, we're still waiting to see what's going to happen if we get the violation to the upside and the pullback, or if we just rally down. Let's go and take a look at the 50 and see if it's producing anything else. Well, that just looks a mess. That just looks a mess. I mean, you could make the case for a head and shoulders, but you've got no confirmation here. This was not a valid double top. I would need to see a violation of this level, a pullback, and then something like that. So not a great deal here either on the pound New Zealand. Is anybody looking at anything on this time frame? Did anybody short the market based on the trend continuation setup? Yeah, we're just, for me personally, this is just a waiting game. Just a waiting game here. I don't even like the formation of the head and shoulders. We've got this kind of leg here. Don't really like the formation. Let's take a look at the 60. Yeah, it's not valid on the 60. You can see here that we didn't violate structure, so we don't even have a head, so the only thing it would be valid on would be the 15. Alright guys, we just had the hourly candle close. Let me have a quick peek. Quick peek at the pound yen. Lower low, lower close. Doesn't mean it's going to rally down, but we now have a high test candle wick that held structure. We closed right at the very lows, and then we put in a lower low, lower close straight after it. So the probability of that trade going on to win has just increased. Doesn't mean it will, but it has just increased. And we've got now a lower low, lower close as well on the pound dollar. So again, trend continuation, guys. This would have been your entry for trend continuation to the downside. So And just the last one to bring back over is the euro pound. Did we get the higher high, higher close? No, we did not. Let's go and take a look at the 15. What did we do? Not a lot, to be honest. Oh, go away. Get rid of that. Could we be forming a double bottom? Another double bottom? Is that possible? Well, it is. Double bottoms form within the wicks, and these are the wicks down here. We could be forming another double bottom. It wouldn't be one I'm interested in, because up here we've already come into structure. We did have the RSI just here though that went oversold. Yeah, we'll just wait. We will just wait. We'll see what happens with that trade. So, very pleased with the majority of those trades, the way that they've put in the lower low, lower closes. So let's get rid of the pound dollar, and I'll get rid of the pound New Zealand as well. And I'll take a quick look at the dollar CAD. I haven't looked at this recently, so I don't know what's going on. Okay, dollar CAD. Let's go and take a look at the dailies. And we spoke about this where we'd had a rally down, a pullback, a move lower, a pullback, a move lower, and we were seeing a pullback. And we were saying that this looks as though we were running out of steam, because basically we were failing to put in long extensions. So we're looking for long extensions, small pullbacks, long extensions, small pullbacks for trend continuation. And what we were doing was this, and this was just a sign that we're running out of momentum, and we could see a reversal the other way. We did also have some bullish divergence just here as well. So yeah, I do believe that we do have room to go to the downside, but it looks as though we're going to enter some form of consolidation here. Either, yeah, it's a bit difficult this actually. This could end up being an advanced pattern before we see the break to the downside, maybe in a month or two. Let's go and take a look at the 240. Okay, 240. So we had 1, 2, 3 times the structure level was tested, and right now this is where the candle has closed, just here. So we now have a confirmed violation above these levels. And if we just look at what we've done from the last swing, we had a move lower, a pullback, move lower, a pullback, move lower, a pullback. Then this was a triple test. We'll make it a double bottom. Now we've had the violation to the upside. So this is forming something like a head and shoulders. Question is, did it come into structure? Let's have a look for some structure. No, 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 no. Okay, we've got a few tests here which I would accept. Very minor bounces. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was as well. Just keep looking left for more structure. Is that all of it? Okay, we have a little bit more here as well. Okay, so we do have this area that has been tested quite a few times now, so we could actually see a rotation here. This could be something like a head and shoulders. I move up to this point, I pull back, look for an entry reason within the wicks here first of all, and then I'd look down here for an entry reason and see if you can get involved with something like an AB equals CD pattern. So it's a potential. We've now had a potential rotation. This is now an initial structure high, so we'll keep that on the radar as well. But for now, let's move it off to the side. Marcus, Euro Aussie testing the third time structure at 159.00. Either we break and can look for trend continuation, or we get a rotation pattern. Yeah, that's where I took targets. that was the trade where I played for a little bit of an extension on it. Where's my Euro Aussie gone? Okay. Let's make this the Euro Aussie. But yeah, we're waiting to violate that level of structure. And here's the workings out from the other day. So we're still looking for shorting opportunities here. As you can see right here, it looks as though we're in consolidation right at that 15900 psychological number. And this could be a decision point, particularly since we do have decent structure at this level. 1, 2. You can actually see this significantly better on the 240, so let's just go to the 240. So here, 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 there. I won't do all of them, guys, because there was about 15, wasn't there? But it was an area where we said that we don't really want to buy or sell the market up just yet. We want to see what happens. My concern was this double bottom right here, this retest. When we looked at the market, it was like this, and I said what we can do is wait for this double bottom to be confirmed, so we physically violate above the top, confirming that this is a rotation pattern, it is a double bottom, and then we could look for a pullback and long opportunities. But look what we did not do. We didn't violate. This was the high. Instead we held structure, and now we're back down within the structure zone again. So this is nothing more now than just consolidation. We're in between these two zones, and what we want to do is wait. It is looking like we'll probably violate these lows, and the good thing about that is that if we do and we get a pullback, tell me the advantages now of violating this structure level right here. What are the advantages now if we violate this level? Something like this. When we violate one level of structure, so if this was the trend and we pull back into this level and there's only one test right here, but there's 3 tests right here, what's the advantage? Mickle resistance, exactly. This is going to provide, if we violate it, a better resistance zone than if it was just tested once here. So we could see something like a double top up here, or even you could be more aggressive, you could look for a 3-bar reversal. The second thing is it also happened at the 15900 psychological number, so it's a great place to hide stops behind. And what typically happens, the more times a structure level is tested, and when we violate it, the stronger the violation typically. So because we've tested this 3 times, we might go on and test it 4, 5, 6, who knows. But the more times we test it, then we tend to violate it with more momentum. And what we can do then is we can actually drop down to our lower time frame and be more aggressive with our shorting opportunities. Because higher time frame here, guys, on the Euro Aussie, we're still looking short. I'm still looking at the market coming considerably lower here. If we violate this level just here, the next major level for me is right down here. Right down here, 15700s. So we're going to watch this. We'll see if we get the violation. If we get a lovely big bearish candle on the 60-minute that violates this level of structure, I'll be dropping down to the 5 range and looking for an entry. Marcus said the 3-point support should trigger a bigger move if broken. Exactly. Yeah, the more time we see that, don't we, with low and tight flags. Everybody should know by now how we work the low and tight flags and the psychology behind them. The low and tight flag is we've got a directional pole, and then we see the market adhering, usually 4 tests on a low and tight flag like this, and we see the breakout after it violates a double test with momentum. So this is similar in the psychology, in the fact that we're retesting the channel, and if we get the breakout, usually with momentum. And I'm sure that we had one of these trades a few weeks ago where we got involved with the 60-minute breakout. We saw a pullback on the 5 range and we shorted the market. In fact, I'm positive. I don't know what currency pair it was, but that's the 2 ways we're going to attack this. If we get the big bullish breakout, the 5 range, if it's not a strong momentum candle, we'll wait for the pullback and still drop down the time frames and look for the entry. So many different ways. Ashraf, break with momentum, exactly. Harry, welcome. It looks like is the double bottom on the 15-minute. We'll take a look at that in just a moment. For a short long. For a short long. I understand what you mean. For a small long. For a quick long. Let's drop down to the 60. So yeah, we are down within the wicks, just down here, and the wicks is where we see those rotation patterns. So I would look in this zone. It's already producing indecision candles right here. Now you want to be, as Harry said, only looking for a short long. I would only be looking for a blip here, a small pop. It's not going to be a trade I'm going to get involved with, to be honest with you. I'm going to wait for the breakout. It wouldn't be high probability enough for me, but if you believe that we can come up to retest the highs up here, dropping down the time frames to the 15, well, there you go. We do have a valid retest just there, and we do also have the RSI. So we went oversold with divergence, and yeah, nice spot, Harry. This is looking like a valid double bottom. It isn't confirmed until we have this breakout, so because anybody that is looking at getting involved with this trade, you don't want to get involved now because you're going to have a terrible reward to risk. You want to wait for the violation of this level here, look for the pullback, which will be the 26.18. So you look at that 61.8, and then wherever you think targets will be, whether it's going to be a retest to the structure level or whether you think we can make it all the way back up for a retest. Yeah, good find. Again, not one for me, only because I don't like, I wouldn't want to short the market based on these circumstances, but valid opportunity. So yeah. Harry, yep. So left my English in the drawer, no problem. I knew what you meant. So yeah, Euro Aussie, plenty of opportunities. Looks as though there was a cipher pattern there. May or may not have been valid. We may have violated the 1414. Yep, it did. Wasn't valid. So let's put that to the side. For me, I'm just going to keep it on the 60, and we're going to wait on that trade. We're getting the move now, guys, on the pound dollar. Tell me the pound yen's doing the same. Tell me the pound yen is doing the same. It is. There we go, guys. We're still getting the move lower on the CAD Swiss, which is great, towards those targets. And the euro pound is now up as well. So I'm due some wins, guys. I'm due some wins where I'm due some consecutive wins. That's what I'm due. I look at my figures sometimes and I think to myself, okay, well, we've had 3 wins and 3 losses, but it worked out like 2 wins, 2 losses, and then a win and a loss. And then we've had quite a few days where we've had 2 or 3 losses in a row. Only small losses, but we haven't had consistent winners. So it would be nice to see 3 or 4 winners in a row here, because we are due it. The market is due to give us those pips. So let's get rid of the pound dollar again. New Zealand yen. I do want to take a quick look at the New Zealand yen, guys, and unless there's any questions for any other currency pairs, we will make this the last one. Yeah, just having a quick scout around the markets. So I was looking at something here on the New Zealand yen, but I think it's now invalid. So let me know if you've got anything on the New Zealand yen, but we had a move lower to this point, a pullback, then we had a move lower, and you can see that we only just made a new low, and then we pulled all the way back up and we violated this level of structure. We then saw a pullback, and now it looks as though we're going higher. However, if we put a structure level on at our very highs, which are just here, based on structure holds or violations, this is a confirmed structure hold, and we will not now get a violation until price physically closes above this level. So we want to be very wary here about any trades that we take. First of all, we have also come into a psychological number 7300. It looks as though we did just tap the overbought, well, we came close to it, and there's just nothing really here for me on the dailies. Let's go and take a look at the 240. So on the 240, from our lowest point, we were trending very nicely here, weren't we? Move higher, outside return, move higher, outside return, move higher, outside return, move higher, outside return, move higher. And here on the 240, this was our very highs, and you do have a confirmed break above, close above here, and these candles right here, indecision. So we had quite a directional move lower, and then we're having sideways movement here, guys. Okay, so even though the 240 here is showing a hold, a structure hold, the 240 is showing a violation. But we still want to be wary about buying or selling here, particularly with this, guys. We've got a few decent red candles here, momentum candles, that violated this level. No, we didn't, sorry, we did not violate that level. But these are indecision candles right here, and as we drop down the time frames, we're going to see consolidation. Consolidation, and this is how it looks. Now, you could make the case here for a low and tight flag. But again, you want to be wary. Low and tight flags are the most profitable when we violate a major level of structure, or we're moving directionally, or we're in a heavy trend, and we're not really in either of those. So I'd be very cautious about entering something like this. But you do have, I think it was a cipher pattern I was looking at here. So X to A to B, B to C, CD completion is around this level. Completion for this pattern is the 786. So there is room for this market to come lower to get your entry if you're a pattern trader. If you're like me and you're waiting for a rotation pattern down within the wicks, well, that might just come in at a 127 down at that level. Well, it's close. It's close. So we could see a breakout here. If we do see a breakout, we could look for a pullback and a shorting opportunity down to that 127. Let's just go and take a look then at the 15, see how it's setting up. It's pretty ugly. Pretty ugly if you ask me. Just wait for the 5 minute to load, but I don't think there's going to be too much here. Now, nothing for me really. So that's it, guys. We will wait and see if we get the breakout of that pattern. We could look then for a pullback and a shorting opportunity. Apart from that, guys, I really don't have anything else. We've got the market here that's come down for a double bottom within this kill zone. Not going to be a trading opportunity for me because the RSI did not go oversold on the first test, so not valid for me. And I didn't have anything else, guys. Let me just have a quick look around. Aussie dollar, keep an eye out on that complex pullback. We're looking for still the shorts and the Euro Aussie. Euro New Zealand, Euro dollar. I've got nothing on the Euro dollar either. So that's it, guys. Any questions before we wrap this up? I think it was a good start to the session where we spoke about the psychology, about being in those trades, how we went into arrears as a result of the news, but we could be rewarded with a nice winner here on the pound dollar for 110, maybe a few more pips. The pound yen could come off, looking like Sarah is going to be handing us those 23 pips for the CAD Swiss, the flag that she found. Thank you again. And we will hold and see what happens to the euro pound. We are still getting the reaction in the right direction. So guys, I want to thank you again for joining me for the webinar. I will see you. 1 second. Harry, please explain a 3-bar reversal. A quick one. 3-bar reversal is just a pattern formation, Harry. Harry, are you registered in the platform at freeforexeducation.co.uk? I'm not too sure if you are. Don't think I've seen you in the chat before, but it's free registration, and within the educational material, half of it is free. Okay, go and register. You've got the link within the comments here. It's completely free to register. Just put in your first name, surname, email address, correct mobile number, and it sends you an authorization text just to make sure you're not a robot. And half of the course material is completely free. And a 3-bar reversal is it's a pattern that appears within the candlesticks. So this right here is a 3-bar reversal. So we've got the market, we've got a big bullish candle followed by a doji or a long-wicked candle followed by a red candle. So we call this a 3-bar reversal because it's momentum, loss of momentum, and then confirmation we could be going lower. So that's what a 3-bar reversal is. But yeah, also Harry, I don't know if you're new to trading or whether you've been trading a few months, I'm not too sure, but come say hello in the chat. We've got a range of traders in there, from new to medium to experienced traders, and the community is very good. The community there is to help you navigate around the website and also to answer any questions that you have, and really to help you through your trading journey to the point where you become a consistently profitable trader. But apart from that, guys, I want to thank you for joining us. Harry, I'll see you within the chat, and I'll see everybody else in the chat as well.